Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. So, trying to put a recipe together here from all of the leftover stuff I have. I've got hops, I've got specialty grains, I've got some yeast. It's kind of all going to center on the yeast because I only have one package of yeast left. I got this from NHC last summer. So it says best by 2016's dry yeast, vacuum packed, so should be good. I'll just hydrate it before I use it. Got some Simcoe here, some Nugget, some New Zealand Nelson Sauvin. I've got some Columbus that I used in a couple of my brews here recently. These were kept in the freezer, so these are still good too. Kind of go through some of these grains here. Carapils. This one is very light in color, used to enhance head retention. Carahel. This is another lighter malt. This one has got kind of like a round malt flavor to it. Cara Munich. This is a sweet toasty, has sweet toasty overtones, copper color. It's used in a lot of dark Belgian beers. This one's kind of interesting to me, seeing as how I've got this Saison yeast. Special B. This one's got a dark caramel taste to it. Burnt sugar, raisin, dark dried fruits such as cherries and plums. That's interesting to me as well. Biscuit, toasty finish, complex nutty flavor, aroma of baking bread. That sounds pretty good to me as well. Here's another biscuit. Here's some Crystal 40 or Caramel 40. This has got toffee flavor, enhances the body and color of the beer. Might want to use a little bit of this. Golden Naked Oats. I can't remember what I use these in, but this gives a sweet berry nut flavor, creamy satin finish. That kind of sounds pretty good to me in the Saison as well. So maybe I'll just use the rest of this as well. And then I've got Caramel 60, Caramel 120, similar to Caramel 40. They just get darker as you go up in numbers. Probably a little too dark for me, I think. I think I'm going to pass on these. I did not label this one, but it looks to me like a pale chocolate. Again, a little too dark, I think. Chocolate. I don't think this will work in this either. So it kind of leaves me with Golden Naked Oats, Crystal 40, Biscuit, Special B, and Cara Munich. Okay, so Cara Munich or Crystal 40, I'm thinking. I probably should pick one or the other. Toffee or... I might go with the Cara Munich just because it's, I've seen it in a lot of Belgian beers, so I don't know. Maybe I'll go with that instead. So I'll use the Cara Munich for specialty grains. All right. So I have Simcoe here. I don't know about that in this kind of beer. This is more of like a, dank American IPA kind of thing. I will just save this for something else. New Zealand Nelson Sauvin. It's like gonna have some black pepper, allspice, mace. I think this might be interesting with the Saison yeast. I'm gonna keep this. Columbus. This is. I read it was very clean bittering beer, so I might just use this. It sounds pretty good, maybe just as like a 60-minute addition. So I'm going to keep this. nugget. This is, I read it was a versatile hop, anything from American wheat to Irish stout. I didn't see this showing up in any Belgian beers, so I think I might pass on this. I think I'm a little light on the hops. I might have to just look around and pick something out when I go pick up my base malt. For a base malt, I'm thinking a Belgian pale malt will be good too. So yeah, so I think I kind of have my recipe, I have my ingredients. I just have to kind of figure out the ratios and figure out how much I want to use. A lot of these, you should only be using about 10%. You want to have only these be 10% of your recipe. So I kind of want to stick in that area. So, well, got my ingredients together, so we're all set up to brew tomorrow. I think I just got to go to the Northern Brewer and pick out my base malt. See you tomorrow. Cheers. All right, so I've got my water up to temp here. I usually fill up to 20 quarts every time. I always use the same amount of water, so I will get a different ratio every time, but I like to keep my process the same. I'm looking for temperature of 165, so I put it in there a little hotter, preheat the mash tun. Then I wait for it to come down. Alright, so I'm at my strike temp of 165. I'm looking for about 152 here. Alright, doing my initial Vorlofts here. About halfway through the mash, I checked the temp and it was a little low. It was down to 147, so I added about 2 quarts of boiling water and brought it back up to 152. Normally I don't do that, but it was on the lower end of what I would like, so just made sure that temperature stayed up there. Just gonna run this until I don't see any grains until it starts running clear. Right at midway through my batch sparging here. Everything's going pretty well. I haven't taken a gravity reading yet. I think I'm just gonna wait until I pull off a couple more gallons. It is a lot darker than I intended to. Kind of didn't calculate the color, I just kind of threw the grains together, so. All right, we got the beginning of our 90-minute boil here. Got a nice rolling boil. All right, so I've got 3/4 of an ounce of Columbus and 3/4 of an ounce of Pacifica here. This is my 60-minute edition. Right, I've got my 15-minute edition here. This is 1.25 ounces of Pacifica, and I got my Irish moss here too. All right, so that's the end of a successful brew day, I think. Didn't pitch my yeast yet because you can see the temperature is a little warm. I probably should have chilled it down.
probably another 5 minutes.
But should be alright, I'll just pitch later.
Thanks for watching, everybody. The Frankensaison should be ready in about 3 weeks. Cheers.